All right, hello, my name is Mr. Whyzguy. We're gonna be watching Vice Debates, Asian Americans Debate Model Minority and Asian Hate. And yeah, so they said minority, so I'm gonna be watching this and throwing out my thoughts. You saw the title of this video, so I'm not gonna waste any more time and we're just gonna get straight into it. Enjoy this very short clip.
Or that.
Well, let's have Vince respond.
Or that. I think the question is, do they exist because of supposed white supremacy? And when I look at the fact that, you know, virtually every corporation and institution bends the knee to diversity, celebrates every single Heritage Month, you know, has all these programs, every single one toe the line for Black Lives Matter. I don't look at that
What
and
is
say,
toe the line?
I don't look at that and say conservative white people are in power in this country. As a matter of fact, I'd argue to a large extent, you can talk about, you know, what race or whatever people are, but is like a supposedly conservative white interest in power in America. I would honestly say I think it's the opposite of that.
I want to clarify one thing. You can be.
Well, yeah, I think it's the opposite. Like, all these big corporations are celebrating you guys. I think, like, I don't understand why people still think that, like, these giant corporations are against you. If they were against you, then they wouldn't. They would ignore you. They would be placating to the people, to the white people. They wouldn't be placating and saying, how all these things are like great now, diversity. Like, this is what it's like. It's not like what he's saying is wrong. I wouldn't use placate to. I would probably use a slightly different word, but I guess for the lack of a better word, would use placate. But yeah, we're winning. But this guy is still this guy. He's like, nah, we're not winning. Like, let's just see what he's gonna say.
Liberal and slow white supremacist, right?
Yes.
Like, I would be very clear,
Absolutely.
right? That it doesn't necessarily mean conservative white power is the predominant folks in power. I think it could span a lot of political ideologies and still have these things embedded in how you govern and how you lead and how you make decisions. However, when you talk about bending the knee, that is a wild way, I think, to look at society finally trying in some ways to right the wrongs of its
It's not so
ills.
wild. I mean, even like your supposedly white politicians, you look at what they did in 2020, they quite literally bent the knee. Nancy Pelosi, Chuck Schumer, the entire Democrat basically caucus in Congress literally bent the knee to George Floyd and to Black Lives Matter. Like, they quite literally did that.
And was that a
Yeah, they quite literally bent the knee. That's funny because, like, he look at him smile. Look at this dude smiling. Oh, look at him smiling. He's like, yeah, he's not wrong. That's funny. That is so funny. I mean, they did. And I guess he's gonna say, is that a bad thing? So I'm gonna answer that question. I wouldn't say it's a bad thing. The way that he's saying it, you can kind of assume that the way that he's saying that they're bending the knee, it sounds like it's a bad thing, but I don't think it's a bad thing. I just think they're just virtue signaling. Like, they're saying something that, like, they're just virtue signaling. They're saying, oh, look at this. I kneeled. Look how virtuous I am. And then post a black square as if that's going to help the problem or anything. That's going to help the situation. Look at that. We care, right? We care. All right. So are you going to donate? Well, no, I'm going to kneel. Maybe, and say that I care and stuff, and not really give out actual policies that could fix this issue. Now we're just going to kneel and raise their fist up high, because that's basically what they did. Did they throw out? I'm not sure if they threw out a maybe they did throw out a policy, but I highly doubt they did. I think they just used it as like a political stunt and then just moved on, and started focusing on enriching their lives instead of like actually they probably did enrich their lives by doing that little political thing, and then they probably got a ton of donations. Like, look at these guys, I'm gonna donate to them because they care. They kneeled for George Floyd. No, they literally probably did get a ton of money from that. Like, donations are a thing.
and that was a bad thing?
I think it was a stupid thing. I
Why?
think it was just ridiculous pandering
So
to
Black
a
Lives-
terror.
I wouldn't say it's a stupid thing, but they are pandering. Look at her face. She's so surprised by that. But I wouldn't say it's a stupid thing. I think it's, I mean, it wasn't actually, no, I would say it's kind of smart. because a lot of idiots out there are just going to see the virtue signal and be like, yeah, they do care. They do care. Let me give them some donations. And then they give them donations because people don't pay attention. Okay, so you know what I think is kind of disrespectful? Going to someone, looking at them, looking at their stuff, and then leaving without saying anything. Yeah, that's a little bit disrespectful. So I think you should not do that, and leave a comment down below. Thank you.